Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here on behalf of Governor O'Malley, who is actually involved in announcing a major new transit-oriented development project today. So unfortunately, he couldn't be here. But I want to extend Governor O'Malley's appreciation for the work of the University of Maryland, the University of Delaware, in holding this very important summit on climate disruption, correct? So Governor O'Malley and Governor Markell have been working very closely together on a wide range of issues, from public safety to offshore wind power, and certainly climate disruption is a very critical issue facing us all, as we heard very clearly articulated by Dr. Holdren. I want to thank you again for those remarks. We have a tremendous amount of work to do in climate change mitigation and adaptation at the international, national, state, and even local levels. So in Maryland, we are leading by example. Shortly after his inauguration in 2007, Governor O'Malley issued an executive order creating the Maryland Commission on Climate Change. And as chair of that commission, I think I'll suggest at the next meeting that we talk about climate disruption. But this group did a plan of action that addressed three key questions. What can the state's best scientists tell us about how and when climate change will affect Maryland citizens and natural resources? What can Maryland do to adapt to the consequences of climate change? And what can Maryland do to reduce emissions of greenhouse gases and the state's carbon footprint to begin reversing some of these trends that we're seeing? When Governor O'Malley issued the executive order in 2007, he also directed Maryland to become the 10th state to join the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, or RGGI. This is the nation's first mandatory market-based program to reduce emissions of carbon dioxide from the power generation sector. The 10 states participating in RGGI have established a regional cap on CO2 emissions from the power sector and are requiring power plants to purchase tradable CO2 allowances for each ton of CO2 that is emitted. And Maryland and the other states are using the proceeds from the sale of RGGI allowances to establish various funds. In Maryland, we call it the Strategic Energy Investment Fund, which is a special non-lapsing fund administered by our Maryland Energy Administration. And these funds are allocated to energy efficiency, conservation, and other demand response programs, residential energy bill assistance, renewable energy deployment, and climate change outreach in education, which is obviously the topic we're here to discuss today. We've benefited from over $100 million in RGGI funding in Maryland, and to date, more than 17,000 Marylanders and their families have taken part in CO2 allowance proceeds that have funded energy efficiency and renewable energy programs, saving more than $77 million over the life of the investments. The work of our Climate Change Commission also led to the passage of the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Act of 2009. This is a Maryland law setting as state policy the reduction of our emissions as a state by 25% by 2020. It requires my department, the Department of the Environment, to develop a draft state climate plan for submission to the governor and Maryland legislature this coming December, and a final plan due in December 2012. This plan has to be quite an ambitious document. The legislature requires that the climate plan must protect existing jobs, create new green jobs, have a net positive impact on Maryland's economy and not adversely impact the reliability and affordability of electricity service in the state, and not disproportionately affect the low income or any other class of ratepayers. This is a very difficult and ambitious challenge for any plan, and we're going to need the help of everyone here in putting this together. But we do believe that this can be done in a way that's economically beneficial. The Regional Economic Studies Institute of Towson University has been commissioned to evaluate and validate the potential economic impacts of mitigation strategies on Maryland's economy, and they estimate impacts ranging from $500 million to up to $6 billion of total impact on the state GDP. Other economic impacts we've heard about previously, employment, wages, jobs, et cetera, could be extremely positive as well. But of course, we're not going to be successful as a nation without dealing with the aspect of education and the topic of this conference. Education and public outreach is absolutely critical, as we've just heard discussed. Dr. Holdren's lecture about the path forward, extremely educational for us. And today's summit meeting, and presumably the rest of the discussions today, and through this made clear implementation plan, will play an important role in advancing our critical education agenda. We're most appreciative of the federal assistance and leadership through the National Science Foundation, and we look forward to a continued partnership not only with NSF, but with other federal agencies, and of course, all of you in this room representing state and local educational activities as we implement a robust and effective program of climate education. So thank you all very much, and I look forward to seeing the outcome of your discussions. Thank you.